Hello and welcome to Storytime at 9. As all of you know, in case there's some of you who've joined for the first time, every Saturday we travel to different countries with the finest professional storytellers from that country, who kind of tell us stories from that country and also introduce us to their country and the culture. And today I'm delighted that we are traveling to a country in Asia, Philippines, with Richard Dian Vilar. Now, you won't guess, of course, when Richard shows you his country in the map, you'll realize it's so much more to the east. In fact, it is 11:30 p.m. at night now. I was wondering how we can have it. But Richard has been such a darling. He has stayed awake, to tell you stories at midnight, right? So I hope all of you will enjoy the stories and you know what you're supposed to do. I mean, just think of not just the fact that he's such a wonderful storyteller. In fact, Richard is the finest international storyteller from Philippines. Whenever I asked any of the big storytellers in the world, I want to have someone from Philippines, everyone said, you have to get Richard. And he's so popular, let me tell you. When we shared that we are doing this storytelling session with Richard, it got 10, 15 shares. So many people shared that post because he's hugely popular in his country. And he's a multi-talented person. Like in India, we say that, art is a multi-art form, normally. So he's a singer, dancer, choreographer, theater director, and of course, storyteller. And he has been a curator at the museum, and now he's working with the government in the city of Butuan, where he's a culture, heritage, and arts officer. Okay, so all kinds of background, that very rich background, and of course, I love his costume as well. And I can't imagine being so bright, and so lively at midnight. I'll be all sleepy. But you can see how much energy he still has, even late in the night. But then, once again, before I hand it over to Richard to tell us stories, I hope all of you know that after he tells stories, we will also hear about Philippines and its culture from Richard, and then you can ask him questions in your comments box, right? But show your appreciation, please, for the wonderful storyteller Richard and his stories by please sharing this video wherever you're seeing it, on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter. Please share the video on WhatsApp or Facebook, wherever, with your friends so that they also get to, listen to these wonderful stories and get to see such a wonderful person, right? So, and if you've not already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please like our Facebook page, and as I said, share this video. But so I won't take more time. I over to Richard now. But once again, reminder: tomorrow we are live again at 9 p.m. with Rabibar Gapabar, which is stories in Odia. And we will have another wonderful storyteller, Swagatika Sethi, who has told you stories earlier also. She will be back tomorrow. And then we'll be back next Saturday when we travel to another country. So, Richard, over to you.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Good evening. I'm going to tell you 3 stories. I chose these stories because they are my favorites. The first story is The Legend of the Sun, the Moon, and the Stars. Long time ago, the sun and the moon, they were a couple. The sun was the husband and the moon was the wife. They have a child. Tulog na langga, langga ni nanay. Tulog na anak, anak na kong gamay. Bisan pa sa bulawan, dili ka pabayluan. Tulog na anak, anak na kong gamay. Sleep, my little one, sleep, my dear child. Sleep. I will never have you exchanged, even with gold. Tulog na anak, anak na kong gamay. The child is sleeping, but Mother Moon has to fetch water. And so she has to leave the child to her husband, the sun. And so Mother Moon went off to fetch water, put the pail on her head, and then she walked towards the river. When she reached the river, she put the pail towards the water and pail was filled with water. Meanwhile, her husband, the sun, was watching over the child. And he did not look at the child. Then suddenly the child cried, "Wah! Wah! Wah!" So Father Son has to sing a lullaby. Tulog na langga, langga inanay. The more the baby wailed, "Wah! Wah! Wah!" Suddenly, the baby stood up, and Father Son was so worried the baby might fall from the heavens to the ground. And so he looked at the child and stared at it. It was a time when Mother Moon came and she saw everything. And then she went to her husband and said, "I told you not to look at our child. Oh, why did you look at our child?" What do you think happened? The son stared at the child. Mother Moon went towards the hammock and looked at the child. Do you know what happened to the child? The child melted. And so Mother scooped the melted child and splash it to the heavens. And then twinkle, 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 there appeared those twinkling little things on the heavens. And there was an old man who appeared and said, "Oh, Bituun." What is that again? Bituun, meaning stars. In the Philippines, we call the stars Bituun. Hmm, Bituun. That will be the name of your child. From then on, the little stars, the child of the sun and the moon, were called Bituun. But from then on, the sun and the moon decided that they should separate for the good of their child so that they won't melt again. The sun will appear during the day, and the moon will appear during the night with her children, the stars. Children are the stars. And that is the story of the sun, the moon, and the stars. That is the end of my first story. Now, I will tell you another story. This is a story, a legend about the human race. Ay, ay, niadto ng panahon, sigun sa alamat, ilalang ni Bathala man nama, ang unang lalaking si Tuglay, ug ang babaeng si Tuglibong. Very long time ago, according to a legend, Manama, the great creator, created the first man, Tuglay, and the first woman, Tuglibong. Naday, dito sila nahimuyo sa bukid sa Apo. They lived in the mountain called Apo. During the time, the mountain was lush and it was bountiful with animals, fruits, and flowers. So it did not make the people hungry because it was so easy for them to hunt animals and to gather food. Tuglay, the first man, and Tuglibong, the first woman, they have children. And when their children grew up, they got married. One day, Tuglay and Tuglibong called on their first boy and their first girl. And then they said, Go, go far away across the oceans because we believe that there is a good place for you to stay there. Day, 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 day. And so for a long time, they did not see the first boy and the first girl. Ay, da, 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 day, 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 day. And then it was believed that white men and white women who came back to the place were believed to be their descendants. Milabay ang panahon, mga taknag, mga higayon. Ituglayog si Tuglibong, misaka na sa kalangitan, nahimong diwata. Sila ang nagbantay sa katawhan. Time passed. Tuglay and Tuglibong left the earth and ascended to the heavens. They became the spirits who guarded, watch over the people. But when they left, when they left, there was a long drought. The river dried up, and the forest, the land, the mountains were now empty of food. And so the people were forced to leave and look for places to live. Day, 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 day. They left in pairs. One pair who left, they were bringing with them baskets called biraan. That is why they were called blaans. Other people left and looked for different directions. They went to the seas. They went to the foot of the mountains. They went to near the river. and their culture and life adapted the places where they live. One pair, man and a woman, was too weak and they weren't able to leave. One night, the man crawled to the field and then, to his amazement, he saw a stalk of sugarcane grew lustily in the field. And so he chopped it with his knife, and juice flowed from it. And it was enough for him and for his wife to drink. The juice that flowed from it did not stop flowing, not until the rain washed and cleared the land that is now called Sibulan. What is the name? The name of the land is called Sibulan. And so the man and the woman gave birth to the people now called Pagobos. And they stayed there in Sibulan. Day, 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 day. Kiningiyutang tabunok, kiningiyutang mabungahon atong pagasawaan, atong pagaambitan, kaysa mata ning magbabaya, kita usara. Day, day. The psalm says, this land, this very rich land, we should share it. We should share the bounty of the land because in the eyes of the Creator, we are one. We call people, we came from one woman and one man, Tuglay and Tuglibong. That means we are all brothers and sisters. Day, 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 day. At ng panahon, sigun sa alamat, tila lang ni Bathala man naman. Ang unang lalaking si Tuglay, ang babaeng si Tuglibong. Nagikan kanila ang tanang katauhan. A very long time ago, according to the legend, God Manama created the first man, Tuglibong, Tuglay, and the first woman, Tuglibong. And from them came all the peoples of the earth. And that is my second story. Now, my third story is one of my favorite stories that I usually tell to children like you. This is the legend of the pineapple. You know how pineapple tastes? It tastes sweet, but sometimes it tastes a little bit sour. You want to know the story of the legend of the pineapple? This is a story about Pina. Pina and her mother lived in a bahay kubo. It is a small hut or a small house. Bahay kubo kahit munti ang halaman doon. Ay sari-sari, singkamas at talong, sigarilyas at mani. Sitaw, bataw, patadi. Bahay Kubo is a small hut and is full of plants. It's being surrounded with a lot of plants. So many plants around it. One day, Pina and her mother were walking in the garden, and then Pina's mother realized that the garden is dirty because a lot of dried leaves already in the ground. And so Pina's mother said, Pina, you go up and get the broomsticks. Okay? Pina, she's a good child. She listens to her mother, but she's a bad habit of always tinkering her cell phone. So when she went up, yes, mother, I'm going to get the broom. She was still playing with her cell phone and doing some selfie there, selfie here. Pina, get the broomsticks. Yes, mother, but still doing the selfie. And the mother, Pina said, where's the broomsticks? Mother said, Pina, the broomsticks is placed besides the pail. The pail is placed besides the big drum. Where? It's besides the pail, and the pail is besides the big drum. But mother, I cannot find the pail. Pina's mother said, okay, okay, all right. So Pina's mother went up. Okay, Pina, here. The broomstick is besides the pail, and the pail is besides the big drum. And then mother went down and swept swept the ground. The next day, oh, mother was again in the garden, and then mother realized that the tomatoes are now so ripe and they have to be harvested. Mm, I think we should harvest the tomatoes. Pina, Pina. Yes, mother. But Pina was still with her cell phone, and oh, she has a Facebook account. And then she said, oh, my friend, she has another friend. I should make friends with her. Pina, yes, mother. Get the basket. Okay, mother. But Pina was still playing with her cell phone. She went up and then, mother, where did you place the basket? Uh, Mother said, Pina, the basket is hanged at the back of the door. Where is the basket? It is hanged at the back of the door. But Pina, oh, they quarreled with, she's still playing with her cell phone. Oh, oh no, they're quarreling with my friend. Oh, I should also quarrel. Pina, the basket. Oh, yes, mother. Pina hurriedly went. Mother, I cannot find the door. Pina. Oh, Pina. You always give me heartache. And so Pina's mother went up the house. Here, Pina, here is the door. And opened the door, and at the back of the door, there is the basket hang at the back of the door. The next day, Pina's mother was so sick. Uh, uh, Pina! Pina! Do you think where Pina is? Pina was again playing with her. That's right. She's playing with her cell phone. Oh, like. And then, oh, I'm going to post my selfies. Hmm, Another selfie. Selfie with my friends. Selfie here. Another selfie there. Selfie here. Pina! Yes, mother. Yes, mother. Pina. Okay. Go to the garden. Get me some calamansi. You know what is calamansi? Those are small citrus fruit, as small as this, and so sour, because I'm going to treat my my cough. Yes, mother. So Ina hurriedly went down the garden, but still playing with her cell phone. And selfie again, another selfie there. Mother, where is the calamansi? Ina, the calamansi is besides the mango tree. The mango tree is besides the bamboos. Where is the calamansi? The citrus fruit where? Besides the mango tree. And the mango tree is besides the, yes, that's right, the bamboos. But mother, Pina said, I cannot find the mango. Pina, I wish you will grow so many eyes. Eyes in your forehead, eyes in your cheeks, eyes in your chin, in your neck, in your arms, in your body, in your buttocks. You will have so many eyes so that you will be able to find the things I want you to find. When her mother said that, there was lightning and thunder. Wait, which comes first? Light or sound? Ah, okay. Sound comes first before light. And when she said that, there was thunder and lightning. Uh, Silence. Mother went to sleep. Mm. The next day, the cough of Pina's mother is gone like magic. And she was looking for Pina. Pina, Pina, have you seen Pina? No? I think you have seen her, but you just don't want to tell me. Anyway, Pina. And then she went down to the garden because she remembered she asked Pina to get some calamansi, but she can't find Pina. And in the garden, she saw this very odd looking plant. Oh, the plant is shaped like that, and the body was filled with eyes, shaped like, you know, our eyes. And the hair looked like Pina's hair because Pina liked to put a lot of gel in her hair to shape like that. Oh, And then mother picked the fruit and then mm, she peeled it and tasted it. It's 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 sour but sweet. It's just like the little girl, Pina. Sour but sweet little girl. Mother was sure it was Pina. You know why? Why do you think? Because in that place where the plant grew, mother saw her. That's right. Pina's cell phone with a lot of selfies of Pina. And that is the story of the legend of the pine. I hope you enjoyed my three stories. The first story was the legend of the sun, the moon, and the stars. And the second story is the legend of the human race and the story of Pina in the end. Did you like it?
I loved it, of course. I'm sure the children loved it also. I think they were commenting on that. Okay. So, some of you, I think, were asking about enabling the option of subtitles. Now, that doesn't really happen on this platform. We are still trying to explore. But then, you know what, children, this is a wonderful exercise for you to, in terms of listening comprehension, in listening to people from different cultures speak. And of course, there were some words that you would not have understood because he was using local words, words from his language, which he was, of course, translating after that. So, uh, Richard,
Yes.
Asta is requesting for one more short story. There is
Okay.
this request. Do you want to tell one more story?
Oh, sure. I can.
Okay, okay. So, Asta, your wish is granted now. And there is someone who's saying, you look like Jackie Chan.
Do I do? I do look like. Thank you so much. I'm so elated with that comment.
Okay, yes.
Very short story. Okay. Um, this is Minukawa swallowed the sun. Ha 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 ha. Pagdating ng tag-ulan, kaingin ay taniman. At libo'y bubuhayin sa mga binhing ipinunla. Ha 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 ha. One day the people were planting and were singing. When the rain comes, we shall sow the seeds and it will grow in the ground. But suddenly, it became so dark. The sun wasn't there anymore. The sun was supposed to be the people's light, giving them inspiration of working hard every day, but the sun disappeared. It was because they did not realize that while they were so busy working in the field, the Minokawa appeared. The Minokawa looks like a big dragon. His eyes are made of glass, and her wings are like made of steel. And the Minokawa was creeping and creeping, and he swallowed the sun. The people scampered. They were looking for places to hide because they believe when the Minokawa were able to swallow the sun, it will go down the earth and devour humans. They remembered in the olden times when the Minokawa will swallow the sun, they have to create loud noises, strong noises. Buwa, 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 Minokawa, Minokawa. Ang adlaw, iluwa na, buwa. So people were making great sounds. But the Minokawa did not spit out the sun. Then, one time, while it was so dark, the children were singing and playing music together. Minukawa, Minukawa, ang adlaw, adlaw, iluwa. Minu. It was so lovely to hear. Minukawa, Minukawa, ang adlaw, adlaw, iluwa na. And the children were followed with adults. Minukawa, Minukawa, adlaw, adlaw, iluwa na. And so the Minokawa appeared. It was intrigued. What's going on? And when it appeared, it opened its mouth. And when it opened its mouth, the sun just went out and ran away. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the legend of the Minokawa that swallowed the sun. So what are we going to do if the Minokawa will swallow the sun? We will create beautiful sound together.
So I think Lipsita is asking to explain the song. I think all of you should sing this song and record it and send it to our email, contactbakul@gmail.com. I hope all of you know that, right? I want to sing along with you, Richard. Can we do that? Minokawa.
Minokawa, 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 ang adlaw, adlaw, iluwa na. So, meaning, Minokawa is that big bird. Ang adlaw is the sun, adlaw, sun, iluwa, adlaw, the adlaw. Iluwa is spit out, iluwa na.
Iluwana.
Iluwa. ILUWA. Iluwa.
Iluwa.
Na. Then you put na. Okay, can we do it together?
Yes.
Minokawa. Minokawa. Adlaw. Adlaw. Iluwa na.
Very good. Okay, let's see. Why don't we do something? It's already 40 minutes. I'll just, before we have Richard tell about Philippines and you can ask your questions. I can see that some of you have been typing your questions. I'll just show you something very interesting about some of our libraries. And something interesting, and then we will go over. So, okay. Now, these are some libraries that we set up in government schools in Orissa. You know, some years back, there was a super cyclone actually, called Phylin, which devastated many schools like this, particularly in Ganjam. You see the ceiling of the school has gone. And we wanted to set up libraries in primary schools. So what did we do? Now, we, of course, had the books. And then we just needed a small almirah, you know, or a rack to keep the books. So what we did was we thought, you know, can we do something different? Can we do something fun? So we bought old refrigerators, you know, which were not working, not functional. And then we got young artists to come and paint on the refrigerators. Each refrigerator, even children who come to our library, they also join.
Wow.
Okay. So each artist painted one refrigerator. You know, it became their canvas. So instead of paper or canvas, they were painting on the refrigerators. And these refrigerators then became the book racks. And we went with books and the refrigerators to different schools, and we set up the library like this. See, you have all the books with stickers that indicated different levels. So you must have seen this in the video. If you're watching our videos regularly, at the end of the storytelling session, we have a video where you have child, picking out books from the fridge libraries. So these are the fridge libraries, and the children are reading. Look at this girl, her expressions. Now when the fridge came, she was like wondering, what is it? Why are they bringing a fridge? You know, and then finally, it has books. So these are the fridge libraries. Now we'll go over to Richard to listen to his presentation on Philippines. So I'll share that. Richard, you can talk about it, and you can tell me to move the slides as it happens.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the Philippine flag. This is the Philippine flag, and the blue color in the Philippine flag means nobility, and the red color is bravery. The white color is purity, and these 3 stars represents the 3 major islands of the Philippines: Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. And the sun has 8 rays. It represents the 8 provinces that were part of the Philippine Revolution. Okay, so that's the representation of the Philippine flag. And where is the Philippines? Where can we find it? Now we go to number 2. I can't look. Did you move it already?
Yeah.
There. Okay. And this is there's the Philippines. That is Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. And above it is China, and below is Australia, and this is Indonesia. And there's India, quite far. I already went to India. I came there in like 3 years ago. And this is the Pacific Ocean and Indian Ocean. That's where the Philippines is. And here's a closer look at the Philippines. Let's have a closer look. There. This is, as I said, Luzon and Visayas and Mindanao. This is Manila here. That's the capital city of the Philippines. And when we go to Visayas, like the center of Visayas is Cebu. And this is Mindanao. This is where I came from. This is Butuan City, the city of Butuan here. And if you see it, this is Butuan City. This is the Agusan, the mighty Agusan River. Oh, I should have told you about my story with the Agusan River, but never mind. That's somewhere here is my house. Here. That is Butuan City. And contrast to Butuan City, if you look at it, it's the building is not as tall as the buildings in Manila. This is Manila. It's a big city. It's the capital city of the Philippines. Then look at that, because the Philippines has like 104 million Filipinos. It's so crowded. This is like a street in Manila. It's so crowded, and people are walking on the street, but already occupied the whole street. You see that? Too many population. Because the Philippines is archipelago, or it means it's surrounded by oceans or the seas. These are, somebody asked me how many islands in the Philippines. There are more than 7,000 islands. Uh, yeah, more than 7,000 islands. And if you have heard about the Pinatubo, that volcano that erupted, this is now the volcano. They have turned it into a park, like a tourist area. Yeah, the volcano walk in Mount Pinatubo. And aside from that, the sea is very important in the Philippines because it's also major source of our economy. We fish, you know, um, we trade using the seas. And this is very popular. This is the Banawi rice terraces, one of the wonders of the world. It it is believed to have been built thousands of years ago. It's being used until now as rice paddies or rice terraces. You might be very interested with this because this is food. This is our like basic food. This is chicken with
Well, I think there's some problem that is happening from Richard's side, but there you can see, um, they use a lot of rice in the food. So that is why you saw the rice terraces, and you saw rice and chicken here, rice and fish here. And this is adobo, which is considered their national food. But let's see. Do we have him back? I think Richard has had some problem. So what we'll do is, meanwhile, uh, let me see. So yes, let's exit this. Yeah. So as we wait for Richard to join in again, some of you, you had said that, oh, Richard is back. You wanted the subtitles to be there. Now, I'll tell you what, the reason I just figured out with my team, our volunteers, why we don't have the option of having subtitles. It's because we need 10,000 subscribers. Now, which means, but we are now only 3,600. So
wow.
each of you has to get all your friends to subscribe so that we can have the subtitle option. Richard, back to the presentation.
Yes, but I'm so sorry about that. It was my
No,
computer.
that's okay. That's okay. In India, we are used to it. Don't worry. We thought you went off to eat food after
Yeah,
talking about food.
the food.
Yeah.
This is
So we were here.
there. This is what we call milkfish. This or bangos. This is the national fish of the Philippines, bangos. with a little rice, and this is a basic breakfast in Philippines. Rice is very important amongst the Filipinos because we eat rice in the morning and lunchtime and also in the evening. Sometimes we also eat rice for snacks.
Ah. Richard, Orissa, the state of India where I come from,
Yeah.
is very famous for many different varieties of rice. So, in
Uh-huh.
fact, the scientific name of rice is Oryza sativa. Oryza as in Orissa.
We also have
So,
a lot of varieties of rice. We have the brown rice, the black rice, the red rice, the upland rice, so many rice, and so
yes.
many delicious food made of rice. Bibingka, so much. Malagkit. We should. Uh, this one is adobo, the very very famous and very very basic. You cook this. This is pork. You cook this just using soy sauce and vinegar. Yeah, of course, with some garnish. And this is very famous. This is we call lechon. Every party, every festival, every Christmas, New Year, every special occasion, birthdays is very important. Your party is not good if you don't have lechon.
Ah,
Mm. And of course, Philippines is a very happy people, and also we have a lot of just like India, a lot of dances, and this is one of the sources of our dance are indigenous peoples. This is a dance from the Manobos. Um, Manobos are found in my area in Agusan, and this is one of the dances. It's a ritual
ah.
dance.
So, children, like we have many tribes in India and they have their own dance and music. So,
Yes.
this is
So
similar.
Philippines also very very similar. And this one, as I said, because we also the Philippines was under Spain for like 300 years. So look at the clothing. It's so influenced by Spaniards. It's the Spanish. Look at this. Although it's like indigenous, but it has the influence of the Spaniards. Look.
Richard, I find something very interesting about the headgear that this girl is wearing. The
Oh
tiara,
yeah.
it is very similar to the tahiya. In Orissa, we have this Odissi dance, and the Odissi dancers actually wear something very similar, the headgear.
Of course,
I'll send you a photo. I
I
found
should.
this very striking.
We should have looked for. There is in Agusan the Tara. We call the Tara. Um,
Mhm.
it is very very Hindu because we have connections with India before.
Yes,
During trade. Yeah.
and most of the maritime trade actually used to happen from our state because it is
Yeah.
on the eastern seaboard. So
Yeah.
particularly with Bali, Malaysia, and definitely
How
Philippines as
how
well.
Philippines and especially Butuan, how Philippines and Butuan were connected with India before through trade.
Exactly.
Yeah. This one is one of the dance, one of the most popular. We can even call this our national dance. It's singkil, but tinikling is our national dance. But this one is very very important. Also singkil, it talks about the flight of the princess, uh, and clicking bamboos is like a symbol for the stones that roll. It tells a story about how the princess saved herself from the playful spirits when she went inside the forest. Yeah, singkil. Then another dance from the Tausugs also is pangalay. Uh, in my story, I said that the culture and life of the people were adapted to the place where they live. This one, the dance is from the Tausugs, and the dance is imitating the movements of the waves of the sea because the Tausugs live near the seas. And this one, just like the dance before, the Manobos. That's me.
Yes, children, I hope you can recognize Richard there.
That's me, and also this one. Okay, and we have some, festivals that we do. A lot of places in the Philippines, we have our own festivals, and most of these festivals are based on what we have, because Butuan City has the old or the ancient boat we call Balangay, so we have the Balangay Festival. This one is already lighted Balangay boats. So we also have in Cebu City the Sinulog Festival honoring the Santo Niño, the saint, the child Niño, Santo Niño. And of course, in Negros, they have this Mascara Festival. Uh, if you notice, the masks are smiling because the people wanted to celebrate joyfulness in the Mascara Festival. Then this is another festival, the Gigantes. Um, yeah,
I,
merrymaking, but
I find it
it's
very interesting that such huge paper mache.
yeah,
Uh,
paper mache,
figures.
huge, and Gigantes Festival, giants, Gigantes, giants.
Okay.
Then this is Panagbenga, or the season of blooming in Baguio City. It showcases the different flowers because Cebu City, because of its cool climate, a lot of flowers grew there. So they have the festival for the blooming of the flowers. Sometimes in January, February. Yeah. And of course, in Davao City, we have the Kadaiyawan Festival. Kadayawan from the word Dayaw or goodness. So celebrating goodness or celebrating everything that is good, everything that is excellent, everything that is beautiful. The Kadayawan Festival. And because of the pandemic, everything is on freeze. We cannot do face-to-face festival. We cannot do face-to-face um, performances. We cannot do face-to-face storytelling. That's why we're doing it virtually. We're doing everything, although live, but we're doing it online because we don't want to, the COVID's still here, so we have to keep ourselves safe by wearing our masks and observing health protocols. Doing social distancing. Don't forget to wash your hands. And when you wash your hands, wash it thoroughly with water and soap. Okay.
Yes. Okay, let's see. There are many questions. Manoranjan is asking, what's the most beautiful place in the Philippines?
Of
Well,
course,
that's
I will say
subjective, but for you.
that the most beautiful place in the Philippines is my city, but one city. I
Ah,
think a lot of people will, quarrel me if I will say that, but the most beautiful place in your place is your place, is where you live, because home is where the heart is. That makes it beautiful. It's
ah,
beyond physical.
yes, indeed. Okay. Priyanka, the headgear. Well, it is the Odissi dance costume, right? That is what I was talking about.
Ah,
The
yeah,
what we call the tahiya.
yeah, because
Okay.
as I said, we have connections before, so we have influences. We influence each other, actually. In fact, the Tara, that's a golden statue that was found in Wawa River, is very very Hindu. There, yeah, we should have a picture of that.
So Piali wants to know about your cap.
This one,
Yeah,
um,
I think
this
so.
this is worn by the chieftain or head of. This was given to me by a datu or a chieftain, and so I think when he gave it to me, I am allowed to wear it because
Uh,
maybe because of age or something. Yeah.
I think Ninad is talking about nasi goreng, but that is Indonesian, right? Nasi goreng is
Indonesian,
Indonesian.
yeah, and nasi goreng is Indonesian. I like nasi goreng.
Ah, so wants to know who is the president of your country.
The president is Rodrigo Roa Duterte. He used to be my mayor when I worked in Davao City. He was the mayor there. And so when, like in 2016, he ran for president and he won with a big, big vote from the majority. Of course, a lot of
Mhm.
people likes him. Some people don't like him, just like anywhere.
Yeah. So Priyanka is saying, how do you go from one place in Philippines to another? Do you go by boat? Do you go by road?
We walk. No. Um, some we can go to some places using the bus, although we're already divided by waters, but there are already bridges, so we can use the bus, but we can also use the boat, and we can use the airplane. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned this, but I think Priyanka wants to know again the name of the volcano that is
The
popular.
volcano that erupted is Mount Pinatubo, but the most beautiful volcano, the perfect cone volcano, is Mount Mayon in Legazpi. It's a perfect cone, Mount Mayon, Mayon volcano.
Ah. So Manoranjan asks, have you visited India?
Yes, I did. I was in. It's a place of at the
Chennai?
Cuba in Chennai. I was
Yeah.
there. I visited a lot of students and told my stories, the stories that I told you. I also told to them. I love India. I mean, I love to coming back to India, but because of the pandemic, we cannot really travel that much now.
Yeah, let's hope you're back soon.
Yeah,
Well,
and the food.
Ella, he did mention, maybe you missed the part at the beginning. He said that he's in Butuan city,
Yes.
the photo of which he showed, right? Okay, let's see what are the other questions that we have not been able to ask. Uh, Astha is asking about lechon. What is it made of? What did it look like? What did
Let's
it look like?
show it already. That big roasted pig. It's a roasted pig and a full whole roasted pig, and the best part is the skin. It's so
Ah.
crunchy. But
But it's
too much of everything is not really good, so you will only have to eat a little.
okay. So I think we come to an end of this show today. Arup wants to know, what did you like the most in India? And that will be our last question.
The most that I like in India, aside from the place, is the food. We always eat. I really love the taste. See? Mm, I can remember.
Great. Thank you so much, Richard. It was
And
lovely
wait, I
having
also
you.
love the shopping there. I love the shopping
Now that
there
you
in
mentioned
India.
food, you've shown food. All the children must be hungry, waiting for the dinner. It's 10 p.m. now,
Oh, I'm so
and it's already
sorry.
12:30 in the morning for you,
For me? Yeah,
late in
it's
the night.
okay. Yeah, it's okay.
Right. So thank you so much once again for joining us and for telling us such wonderful stories. And for, Richard, what is happening is we cannot travel in the pandemic, but we are traveling every Saturday to different countries through
Wow.
storytellers like you. Like today, we travel to Philippines. Next Saturday, we'll be back when we'll travel to another country. And of
Oh,
course,
that's
children,
good.
remember, sorry?
That's very good because you know, it's just a pandemic. We can do so much. We're people. So we can be very, very creative in our traveling. We can always connect, and stories always connect.
Exactly. And stories transport us to different lands. So this is
Yes,
literally taking us to different countries. So thank
that's
you so
true.
much. and children will be back tomorrow for Rabibar Gopabar as well. Right?
And thank you
Bye.
so much for having me.
My
It's
pleasure. Our pleasure.
it's an
Bye.
opportunity to be with you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.